Of Roller Rage 2025. Clofton P. Grudge back on the mic with you, joined by the Grim Lawyer.
It's good to be back.
Grim Lawyer back up, the Grim Lawyer up here as well. Let's get a cheer and a hand wave. Anybody who's been here the whole day long. Thank you. A couple hearty souls. I like it. There we got,
that's
people.
right.
There we go. There we go. Yeah.
hands.
No, yeah. Well, yeah.
Awesome.
A lot of skaters, obviously. Sure. Yeah, that tracks. I mean, CalSquad was in the first bout, so yeah, obviously, that's bookends right there.
That's right.
All right, we are back to it. Let's get to you the rosters here for your two teams of this final bout of day one of Roller Rage 2025. I would love to introduce to you CalSquad. You're looking at number 2 Cup, Karen Bout Nuffin, 2CUP. I always say that wrong. It's 2CUP, Karen Bout Nuffin. The first time I see it. Number 7, Slamurai. Number 32, Boogeyman. Number 69, Dr. B. Number 100, Quiet Riot. Number 229, Rowdy. Number 666, Dragger. Number 802, No Fox Given. Number 925, Sweet Home Alabama. Number 1031, Halloween. Number 1420, La La Tiburona. Number 2000, Electric Piranha. Number 999, your co-captain, Iggy Cox. And your captain, number 300, Kenny McFalcon. That is CalSquad's roster for this bout.
And the roster for the transgender, 00, Elaphobia, pronoun she, her, they. 00 is Uhu, they, them, Grem. Number 1, Fin del Mundo, he, him, and el. 1981, Sandra Slay O'Connor, they, she. Number 4, Sir Ma'am, they, she, he, and any. Number 20, Kevinator, he, they, L, and L. 2022, Chance the Lapper, they, them, boy. 235, Engineer, they, she. 39, Evie, they, them. 511, Bumblebeast, she, her, they. 600, Thigh Voltage, they, she. 612, NBD, they, them. 616, Scapegoat, they, he. 828, Night Marin, she, her, and 999, Strange, they, them.
Thank you. We do have to let you know in the stands, no whistling from the stands, please. No whistling from the stands. These skaters are trained to stop at the sound of any whistle. Please do not whistle from the stands. Thank you. Anyway, now back to the action. That was a 2-point jam for both sides, 2 and 2. Dr. B was your first jammer for CalSquad, and it was Kevinator for Transagenda who got in there. And
that looks like 999 Strange for the Transagenda, taking on 300 McFalcon.
Yep, bodies everywhere. More than half the skaters are down at once. Strange is at the front of the pack. And there goes Kenny McFalcon breezing around the outside as I say that. So
and Strange just got through, coming across for the initial pass.
So CalSquad out with your Transagenda jammer out behind to force the action, and they're calling it off, getting escorted off. That looked just like the first jam. Dr. B came barreling in, was stopped by the back wall, and then had to also call it off.
Did Strange pick up a point at the end there?
Let's see.
Strange did
no
not.
points for either side that time, so score remains tied at 2. Okay, so
39 Evie getting out there for Jam 3 for the Transagenda.
And that's Quiet Riot, number 100 for CalSquad. And Quiet Riot is nearer the front, but doing battle with that 3 wall of defenders for Transagenda. They break apart briefly, and Quiet Riot able to get clear. Oops. And now fighting out of the pack at the front of the pack is Evie. So once again trying to cap this at 1 scoring pass for CalSquad. Transagenda able to get their jammer out again, and once again the defense may have been able to hold some points off the board. We'll have to see. The officials have asked me to make an extremely serious announcement to please not whistle from the stands. Bender B. Rodriguez just let me know that there has been whistling in each jam so far and says, please stop. You would possibly face ejection if found out if continuing to whistle at this point. Thank you. Official timeout continuing, so we are looking at 4 points on the board for CalSquad there, so 6-2 here in the early going. Looks like we're just about ready to go. The thumbs up from head referee Lollipop down on the infield, and we are set.
And this appears to be a power jam.
It indeed does. We've got an early power jam for CalSquad. So out there to power jam for them is number 1031, Holly Ween.
See, I see 1031 on a jersey, and I think a 1031 exchange as opposed to Halloween.
Yes, understood completely. And Holly Ween now able to shake clear along the inside, so 42 seconds left on the power jam clock.
Pack reforms. Halloween finds some daylight on the inside of the track.
Just able to shake past that last blocker. Sandra Slay O'Connor with the pivot stripe on for Transagenda.
Slay and Strange joining arms at the top of the track.
And trying to stick with Holly Ween, and Strange and Sandy both end up out of play. There's 5 seconds left on the clock, and that's Nightmarin in there, I believe.
That is Nightmarin, yeah.
That was Nightmarin in there.
She puts on a big block.
And Nightmarin able to slow up enough with that individual blocking to keep the jammer from getting to the last two blockers. It's excellent strategic blocking in the middle of the pack there.
Dr. B, number 69 out there for CalSquad. Giving a hug to 616 Scapegoat for the agenda.
Was a 13-point power jam when it was all said and done for CalSquad, as we mentioned, not getting those final 2 points on the back end.
That was interesting. Dr. B and Scapegoat held hands as they skated up to the line.
Yes. Very fun to see it.
Yeah.
I keep saying all day long, a tournament like this. Anyway, Scapegoat out and clear. For Transagenda, Dr. B is about half a track behind and gaining, as Dr. B would, as we've mentioned. And that Scapegoat up into the back of the pack and calls it off. Seen a lot of that with the jammers coming in and just running into a brick wall at the back of the
Dr. B
pack.
was looking for a little daylight there on the inside. And we have numero 01, Fin del Mundo, jamming for the Transagenda.
Your jammer for CalSquad is the captain, Kenny McFalcon. Everybody all set. Finn bumped off to the infield first. Kenny McFalcon able to hurdle a downed skater and take off. Clear for CalSquad.
Finn is trying to work his way up and down with some lateral moves. Spins around 2,000, but
Dr. B around the outside of the pack to finish off a scoring pass.
Finn finds some room on the inside of the track.
Finn back up on the track. Excuse me, I said Dr. B, that's Kenny McFalcon. Finished off that second scoring pass. Finn out now, so we'll try to keep this to the last scoring attempt for McFalcon. Catching up to the pack now. Got a cadre of blockers now. Trying to finish that scoring pass, and here comes Finn at the back end, so they're going to surrender some points to Fin del Mundo as well. Kenny McFalcon
got a little help
finishes
there.
off that scoring pass. Yep, there we go. A big pat on the back from Kenny McFalcon to Fin del Mundo, so we'll get some points for Finn as well. Finn had definitely gotten out, was an active scorer, so there indeed are 4 points on the board for Fin del Mundo. 4 puntos, por favor. And tallying up for CalSquad ends up being 14 total for CalSquad. There we are.
Looks like Elaphobia, 00 lining up for Transagenda.
And that's Quiet Riot, number 100.
Jam 7 about to get underway. A little over 8 minutes to go in the half.
Elaphobia down to the inside first and fighting at the front. Quiet Riot now running into it. Oh, Elaphobia quickly along the inside.
Big block there by number 20. Kevinator.
Yeah, Kevinator. Excellent block wearing that pivot stripe, wielding that pivot stripe with authority, as I like to say. And, oh, look at Elaphobia there right up into the back and weaves around, finishes off a scoring pass. Your CalSquad jammer still not out yet. That is Quiet Riot climbing along the rail and then gets blocked right there. Looking out, trying to get out of the way, yeah.
And falling small.
Right in front of us, and then just kind of had that blocker for Transagenda just looming over them on the ground. Quiet Riot trying to get through a small area as Elaphobia back here. Blockers all over the place.
Forced out by Ratty that time, number 229. Elaphobia calling it off.
Yeah, there we are. I was going to say, at one moment there, we had 4 of the 5 skaters for Transagenda were all in the infield. So this is, again, as this whole tournament has been so hard, fast physical action. Really interesting to see when you see a lot of top-level skaters all get together and are really going at it like this. And then the handshakes and the handshakes and the hand-holding and the back pats and everything, and then everybody just goes out there and they're just beating the snot out of each other. It is such a fun thing to see. We have a Transagenda Power Jam.
That is Sir Ma'am.
That is right, Sir Ma'am.
Trying to make some additional headway after that 8-0 jam, the last one. Jam 7 was 8-0 in Trans's favor.
Sure, Sir Ma'am, you're going to hear me say that often because Sir Ma'am, when they skate for AZRD, is Sure Man. And then before Derby, I knew them as a storyteller, and we did a storytelling show together, and their last name is Sherman.
Okay.
So yeah, I know it takes me a second to spin through what name we're going by in this bout.
Then we have something in common. Sherman was my last name too.
There you go. Well, that's what Sir Ma'am comes from, and Sir Ma'am finishes off the scoring pass, is going to look around, and has time to get back around for another scoring pass. Yeah, so if you ever hear me go, sure, I mean Sir Ma'am, it's
Sir Ma'am.
I have seen this individual in many, many different places. Weaving around the post to get back on the track, and that's going to do it.
There was a cut track call there on 828. The end of that jam, so
So ended up being a 4-point power jam for Sir Ma'am and Transagenda. We're going to have about 5 minutes and 10 seconds to go when this jam starts. Or there could be an official timeout.
officials were confirming whether all the points were recorded, and they were.
Yes, and checking in and making sure, apparently. So, the discussion, I didn't want to get in the middle of that since there was people hollering up from the infield up to here. Anyway, that's number 1031, Holly Ween.
Elaphobia, lead jammer. Oh.
Nope, Holly up in there. Elaphobia got clear.
Yep.
Again with the force off.
Called off almost as soon as it starts. We got Sandra Slay O'Connor, number 1981, on the line for the Transagenda.
And that's going to be along with Dr. B, number 69, for CalSquad.
That's strange as the pivot. It's kind of an unusual sentence, but there you have it.
Strange is the pivot sounds so
like
poetic.
A poem, right? Yeah.
Strange is the pivot who knocks upon my door. Something like that, yeah. Dr. B out and clear for CalSquad.
Edgar Allan Poe would approve. Dr. B with a Findamuna with a big hit on Dr. B.
And Sandy gets out and clear and takes off at a full sprint to stay in front of Dr. B, who calls it off. So, good job by Sandra Slay O'Connor, staying away from becoming a jammer point.
Dr. B picked up 4 there for CalSquad.
We have EV for Transagenda, and that is Kenny McFalcon, your team captain for CalSquad. We've got beach blocker bingo going on. Now, I think we're good. And
Jam 11 underway. 3.5 left to go in the first half.
And Kenny McFalcon quickly out this time around. Evie out as well once again. There is Transagenda getting their jammer out and keeping these to one scoring pass attempts by CalSquad. Up to the high side goes McFalcon and then calls it off.
That'll be a 4-0 jam.
Derby fans, don't forget about that shout-out program. We'll tout that tomorrow as well. Don't forget there, if you go to the Arizona Derby Dames website at arizonaderbydames.com.
Timeout.
We do indeed have a timeout. Team timeout, Transagenda. Transagenda is going to take some time to talk a couple of things over. All right. So, team timeout continuing. Also had a referee discussion up here briefly, so we respectfully got off the horn for a moment.
Everything's squared away.
Yeah, we're good. 15 seconds left, and I was just talking about that shout-out program like we've been saying. We'll get to some more of our sponsors here in a few minutes as well. So go to the Arizona Derby Dames website, arizonaderbydames.com. You can make a donation there and get a shout-out read to the skater or person of your choice here in the arena and on the live stream. So definitely check that out. You know, you got a little time tonight.
And it is most certainly not a power jam as Sandra Slay O'Connor returns back to the line for black, the Transagenda.
And that is Quiet Riot for CalSquad. Both jammers kind of gently approach the pack and looking for an opening, and now Sandy is going to get blocked to the rail, or excuse me, the inside.
Yeah, Slay was tiptoeing around.
So Quiet Riot is out and clear for CalSquad. Sandy is going to get pushed up into the rail by a couple of CalSquad blockers and tiptoes along on the toe blocks and sneaks behind number 666 for CalSquad. I don't even think they knew she was there. So trying to get clear for CalSquad and get through and finish that scoring pass is Quiet Riot and calls it off.
Number 20, Kevin Ader on the line for Transagenda for what will be jam number 13 with 2 minutes to go in the half.
And we've got Holly Ween out there for CalSquad. 4 more for CalSquad in that last jam. So you're looking at 48-18 at the moment. And I hear a jammer penalty. Yep. We had a jammer late coming in jammer penalty for Transagenda. It is now a power jam for CalSquad. That's Holly Ween once again, still on the jammer line now, but in a power jam type capacity.
Running right up the outside, no luck there.
Oh, big, just jostled around in there by several blockers for Transagenda, then finds an opening and spins around the blocker who's out of play.
Yeah, scapegoat going to work, and ultimately Halloween gets out.
And Holly Ween is able to get by Scapegoat. Kind of went in and wasn't really sure which way Holly Ween was going to go. It didn't look like. So, got 21 seconds left here in.
Yeah, with NBD at the top of the track trying to prevent progress in that direction. Good block out of bounds there.
We're closing in on, this will nearly certainly be the last jam of the first half.
Y regresan a la línea para la Transagenda, número 01, fin del mundo.
And jamming for CalSquad, number 69, I can say that one in Spanish. Doctor B. No, I joke. I do speak a teeny bit of Spanish. I did grow up here in Phoenix, after all. You will learn that by osmosis.
El médico B, creo. Médico B.
Something, yeah, there you go. Up to the high side, Dr. B looking and fights through and gets by. Out and clear for CalSquad.
Just verify the pronouns. It would be El médico B.
There we go. There we are.
Finn trying to work his way up the top.
And Dr. B is going to outrun Sandy as the last blocker gets around the end of the pack. Finn is going to hand the star forward. So that's a star pass.
Star pass to Sir Ma'am.
Sir Ma'am taking off. So Dr. B is going to finish that scoring pass and call it off.
That may be the end of the half. We'll see.
All right, that whistle takes us up to the halftime break. It was a 9-point jam for CalSquad. 67-18 is the score as we step into our halftime break. Fans here in attendance, this is your last call for filling of the souvenir cups. To get your souvenir cup filled, this is your last opportunity to go fill that thing. And we're letting you know now.
Interested in being part of the roller derby community, but hitting people isn't your thing? Our regulators are always looking for dedicated and eager minds to learn our rule set and help keep our skaters on the track safe. Our regulator team is an open gender team. There are various levels of officiating that go on during roller derby bouts. Come be a part of the action and help our league grow. Ask any skater or ref how to get involved.
We've got the Lost Dutchman Tattoo, as I've said before, a longtime sponsor of our home league, sponsoring this tournament as well. It's a tattoo shop specializing in various styles from realism to traditional. You can also customize your own tattoo. Walk-ins are accepted. That shop is located at 4121 North 19th Avenue. It's the east side of 19th Avenue, just north of Indian School Road. That is Lost Dutchman Tattoo. That's not even your only tattoo-centric sponsor of the tournament. Also, Raya Riot. Tierney is a tattoo artist who had a traditional apprenticeship and education not only in the folkish art form, but also in the education of the craft. This connection to the history of tattooing builds a respect for tattooing itself. She's a native-born Phoenician whose life has always included art with tattooing, what she's become most passionate about. Sign up with Bones to get tattooed this weekend. Ricky D. Bones is over by the manager's office, or will be probably tomorrow. I was going to say, it looks like we're closed up for the night tonight, it would appear. But Ricky D. Bones will be over by the manager's office. You can get a flash tattoo done by Tierney, who is skating this weekend with Clowntown as Skimbleshanks the Railway Cat. We are just about ready to go. Our last half of the final bout of day one of Roller Rage 2025. Hey, fans, don't forget, if you're looking to make plans on Sunday at the end of our championship bouts and our awards presentations, the after party, make a note of this, is going to be over on Roosevelt and Central at the Churchill. So you can just nav that on Sunday afternoon, but you can get a scope out of that and maybe figure out carpooling over there or what have you. So just filling you in, the official after party is going to be Sunday afternoon after the conclusion of the awards at the Churchill, which is a 10-minute drive from here, maybe, give or take.
And the Transgender is chasing a 49-point deficit to start the second half. But as we know in Derby, it's anybody's game. Evie and Falcon doing a little fist bump there before the festivities begin.
Heard somebody up there on the track loudly asking for more blockers, and we got another blocker up there for Transgender to get things going.
Ask and you shall receive.
That is Kenny McFalcon now finding an opening and dashing to the front. Evie is going to get a running start and smack into a CalSquad blocker who comes off. So Evie gets up and goes on around.
Evie can keep going.
So now Dr. B is going to run through the pack, get what he can, and call it off. That last blocker tried to stay away, but we will see if Dr. B got the point. Dr. B got the point.
Sir Ma'am Jam 16 wearing the star for the Transagenda.
And that's Quiet Riot once again for CalSquad.
With a high five this time. It's all good.
And both jammers patiently approaching the pack and waiting for the other to make a move. Now everybody starts going. And Quiet Riot's just trying to go right down the middle of everybody while Sir Ma'am is trying to find an opening in one fashion or another. Neither one. There goes Quiet Riot. They're both
Dragger
out.
was
Quiet
taking the
Riot
space
out.
up at the top, impeding Sir Ma'am's progress.
Quiet Riot's gone first. Sir Ma'am right behind, and Quiet Riot calls it off as they were closing in on the pack with Sir Ma'am with the hot pursuit. No points for either side, and we've got a timeout. And it is a challenge. It is a challenge by Transagenda. So Transagenda is going to utilize their second half challenge. So we will wait for that discussion to take place and find out what's going on thereafter. That's bench coach Crash out there. I just realized that's Crash out there is your bench coach for Transagenda. Thank you. One challenge total. All right. There you go. One challenge total. I appreciate that, Bender. Well, I mean, either way. I mean, so it is their second half challenge because this is the second half. But
So
I appreciate the clarification.
A directional block was called on number 4. That's Sir Ma'am. So that's maybe that's what they're going over.
Yeah, I would say trying to avert the power jam.
Yes, that's it. Of course, it would be a power jam if that challenge is rejected.
So let's let you know about 1 in 10. 1 in 10 is a local charity. Please visit their booth all weekend long. They're going to be collecting items for the 1 in 10 Youth Center. That's including socks of all sizes and all kinds. That's underwear of all sizes and all kinds. Bras, same, all sizes and all kinds. Looking for non-perishable foods. And then toiletries, shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste, etc. And it says mostly need travel size, but also accept full size. Of course, they'll take anything, I'm sure. 1 in 10 is a wonderful charity. They had a wonderful little facility that was set on fire and burned down, and they've had a lot to overcome, and I am glad that they are still out there and doing good things for the community. So please stop by that booth. And that was years ago they lost that facility. That was before COVID. Gosh, it was right in my neighborhood. So yeah, I'm glad they're still out there hacking it. So they are worth your support. And they'll have a booth here all weekend, like I said. If you're listening to that, either at home or here in the arena, if you're going to be here tomorrow, bring some donatable stuff. They could use everything they can. And it's a local, it is a youth center and a local charity that serves all youth And I believe, I'd have to look at the mission statement, but I believe with Transagenda being out there, it's actually worth mentioning. I believe they have a specific focus on trans youth and other underserved youth community types of that sort. As I recall it, I believe that is correct sight unseen. So I'm sure somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, because people usually do. Also give the right information in Twitch, other things like that. Whenever I'm saying things that are factually incorrect.
We'll wait for those comments.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And also, another thing to check out here tomorrow while the challenge rolls on, Tucci's Touch. Tucci's Touch Massage. They specialize in deep tissue trigger point therapy, much, much more. They are on site. They were here today. They will be here tomorrow from noon to 6 again. They have their chair. You can sign up for a free 10-minute chair massage. It is worth your time, especially if you, and I mean this not sarcastically, either if you're a skater or if you've been sitting in the bleachers for more than 3 hours, you could probably use a Tucci chair session.
Or if you've been standing up.
Yes, all standing up, anything. If you've been here, if you've
walked into this facility, then
everybody can benefit from a Tucci massage.
100%.
And I say I'm not only a paid spokesperson, I'm also a client. As when I had my walking boot, but a poorly fitting walking boot, not this fancy the Foot Defender is. Check that out, boy. It is a nice walking boot. But I had a bad hospital issued one, and it threw my hip out of whack. And I went for about 3 sessions, and boy, it turned my hip around right. So, comes highly recommended, and you can get a free 10-minute session for just signing up.
So
all right.
The penalty was overturned.
Penalty was overturned. There you are. After the challenge process, justice prevails. So the Transagenda gain their jammer back as we get back into the action, and that jammer is Scapegoat this time around.
They gained their challenge back too.
They did also get their whole game challenge, not just their second half challenge.
Right.
That's right.
There's
That's
only
right.
one.
That's right. We've got everything clerically correct up here. That is Halloween for CalSquad. And closing in at the back of the pack while Scapegoat is now just trying to base. Yep, I was going to say get those last blockers stretched out where they're out of play. Excellent usage of the pack stretch philosophy by Scapegoat, forcing the call off.
Regresaron a la línea, número 01, fin del mundo.
And we once again have Dr. B, number 69 for CalSquad, at the line.
69, el Médico Bay.
When you say Medical Bay, it sounds like Medical Bay, like Dr. Crusher to the Medical Bay.
That's right.
Anyway.
Beam me up.
We have Dr. B getting shoved into the rail by Nightmarin with more good blocking.
And Finn looks like he can take advantage of some space on the outside.
Yeah, absolutely. And there you go. Once again, just pushing that last blocker until they're gone. Now Finn's
there,
out.
And Finn is lead jammer, but Dr. B is not far behind, and Finn calls it off.
Finn with a high five to Dr. B on the way by, and I was going to say, kind of, you can see checking over his shoulder and kind of gauging it and being like, and I love it. I love that it wasn't an immediate call off. I like that it took 2 checks over the shoulder to be like, no, I better not. And I love the yeah.
That's great.
That was super cool.
Awesome.
Look back and see Dr. B behind you and be like, maybe I'll try it. Why not?
It's Bumble Beast out there for the Transagenda.
And your CalSquad jammer, who is already out and clear, that is going to be number 300.
Yep.
Yeah, Kenny McFalcon. Bumblebee. No, sorry, not Bumblebee. That is Bumblebeast. I knew it wasn't Bumblebee. I had to look over at the roster again.
And McFalcon able to call it off before landing out of bounds. Actually stayed upright.
And checking on the score, it was a 3-point jam for CalSquad. So this is going to be strange.
Got
for
a directional
Transagenda.
penalty called there. I didn't see the number. On number 39. So directional called on Evie.
On Evie, yep. We got both jammers out. Strange is out first. And Oh, I'm sorry. That was not strange. Why did I think that was strange? That was
it was
Surman.
strange, but maybe there was a star pass we didn't see.
Something happened.
happened.
I looked down, I looked up, and the jammer changed. Wow.
Same thing.
All right, anyway, so after no points for either side and a quick call off by Surman, we've got Kevinator for Transagenda, and that's going to be Halloween for CalSquad.
Jam number 21 about to get underway with just over 10 minutes to go in the half.
Blockers jockeying for position. And Kevinator friendly fire gets blocked off by accident by thigh voltage and then gets a kind of a shoulder on the way by and knocked off again, but up again. And fighting around the outside and gone. There goes Kevinator.
Lala Tiburona with the block, forcing Kevinator out of bounds, from which he has recovered.
So Halloween is now going to slide backwards past the last blocker, chance the lapper. And Kevinator is going to finish off that scoring pass and outrun that last CalSquad blocker to the end of the pack. Be about 9 minutes to go in regulation once this jam gets underway.
Sandra Slay O'Connor back at the line for the Transagenda.
And that's Dr. B once again for CalSquad. That was 4 points for Transagenda up on the board. We've got one blocker coming down for CalSquad now. And jam immediately underway. Looking around, and Sandra Slay O'Connor had stashed the star. Dr. B gets out and is your lead jammer.
Bumblebeast was called for a penalty for assisting out of bounds.
So Sandy out now, however. Dr. B is getting shoved off the track, ridden down by the pivot for Transagenda, and had to call it off with Sandra Slay O'Connor barreling in with the full head of steam.
Scapegoat giving a big hug there to McFalcon.
All right, ends up being a 2-point jam for CalSquad.
One of those points was a ghost point.
Yes. So both of those jammers actively up to the line, and McFalcon once again out and clear for CalSquad.
Finding room at the top of the track there. Scapegoat trying the same thing. Forced out there again by 14-20. Lala Tiburona.
And Scapegoat actually was in there as the jammer and kind of redirected Kenny McFalcon off the track and slowed down that scoring pass attempt. However, McFalcon finishing that one off eventually. Now we had the pivot for Transagenda trying to clear a path for...
Tiburona went down hard there.
Kind of everything coming together at once there. Scapegoat stashed the star and then got blasted off the track by a CalSquad blocker as Kenny McFalcon finished a scoring pass. Falcon barreling in there at the end. You heard the bench calling out 5 seconds, letting him know. So tried to get in and get what he could before the whistle blew.
Right, and
looks like we picked up a jammer penalty on Scapegoat,
like
unfortunately.
So that would be a power jam for CalSquad.
It is indeed. That's going to be Quiet Riot up to the jammer line for CalSquad.
All alone. Low block called.
So low block was the jammer penalty picked up by Scapegoat. Everybody's checking. Are we ready? We're ready. There we go. So power jam underway for CalSquad. This power jam will take us under 6 minutes in regulation. Quiet Riot runs into a which are now at the back of the pack. So
being anchored by Nightmare and up there at the top of the track.
I see Strange in there as well, mixing it up. Caught that number flashing around a couple of times. Sandra Slay O'Connor. Not just saying this because she's my boss. One of my favorite pivots to watch.
Transagenda doing a real good job here, preventing progress.
Yeah, I like to say things to people when they can't hear me, but if you want to watch a pivot do work, watch Sandra Slay O'Connor wear the pivot stripe, just all over the track and constantly looking and shouting out instructions. It's fun to watch somebody key the offense and defense as such, as when a good pivot operates like that.
You really
Meanwhile,
have to look in 2 directions at once when you skate,
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah, and so again, as if on cue, you can literally probably hear Sandy over me coming right in front of us, yelling through the mouth guard, mind you. So, yep. Again, just little things to point out when you're watching. I love watching the pack in Derby, whether it's flat track or bank track. I really love watching the what's going on down there in Gruntland.
And the Transagenda successfully defended that power gem. No points.
They
for
did.
CalSquad.
Let's get a cheer for defense.
Great
right?
job.
Al Annihilatia would be so upset to find out that defense went underappreciated. Excellent, excellent defense.
LFO be looking at the top of the track. Big
And
hit there by 999 Iggy Cox.
yeah, LFO hard down onto the infield, but your jammer for CalSquad also to the infield, and now Ella's closer to the front. Those blockers out of play, so there goes Ella. Ella out and clear. Ella, graduate of the Tilted Thunder minors program, the Tilted Thunder Peeps. So weaving through, there goes Ellaphobia along the inside. You've got Slamurai that has
Is now jamming.
is taken
That's right,
over
there's
the
a
Jammer
pass.
Star. And tries to play some jammer defense on Ellaphobia, but Ella too quick, gets by, but then runs into some blockers at the front of the pack. One of them tumbles directly into Slamurai, who is trying to get back up and reestablish. There's 3 seconds left. Everybody's falling. Slamurai runs into somebody, and the clock expires. I was just about to say, though, that it's interesting having announced a few tournaments over my, whatever now, 7-8 years, right? Having seen skaters like Ellaphobia and announce them at like a minors tournament and then an adults tournament and now in a completely different tournament. And having seen, there's so many skaters out here that I know have graduated from their league's minors programs, let alone the role models who are completely comprised of those kinds of people.
Well, following that Transagenda shutout in that last jam, 8-0, we got Fin Del Mundo returning to the line as Dr. B is the lead jammer for CalSquad.
Finn aggressively bouncing up and down, trying to find any opening along that back wall.
And
those defenders are up to it, though.
Trying to take advantage of that low center of gravity.
CalSquad defenders are locked up and forming a solid wall. And weaving through, or trying to weave through, was Dr. B. But found out, had to go up around the high side.
Finn forced out there by Electric Piranha, number 2000.
And taking over as jammer for Transagenda is
Sir Ma'am, number
Sir
4.
Ma'am, and Dr. B calls it off. Yeah, worth mentioning, as we're sitting up here musing on Derby and whatnot, worth mentioning, support your league's minors program if your league has a minors program. And, if you're the kind of person who can start one, you talk to anybody who's been through a minors program in roller derby, and it's one of those things where they say it'll teach you far more beyond, life skills beyond roller derby. They really mean it. And I've talked to a lot of the minors that, now that I've gotten to know some of them over the years, and to a person, every one of them just speaks so highly of the skills they built in their minor program. So like I said, flat track, bank track, I don't care. Upside down track, space track. Support your league's minor program.
The confidence that you develop as a skater.
Oh, yeah.
And having to work with other people.
You're talking to a parent of a former minor, right? I think
sure
graduated.
am.
There you go. I was going to say, Fin Del Mundo graduated out of a minor program too, and is now out there jamming for a top-level tournament team. So look at that. Kevin Ader got out first. We're going to have a stoppage in play.
As Strange returns to the line, but
right. Skater is up and back to the bench under the care of the medical team. Good to see, good to see. The pause in action continuing as they're continuing to check on the injured skater. We will go ahead and report that is Bumblebeast now being helped over. So we will go ahead and hop back off the microphone. We just wanted to give an update on what's going on at the moment. Being helped over to the medic stand to get worked on. Okay, I was going to say if we're heading off the track, then doesn't look like we are. Looks like we'll resume. Okay. Well, that's always a breath of relief. If it's something that can be treated on the infield, then it's better than it may have been. So, back underway we go. We love to say about our medics, we could not do it without them. Legally speaking, we actually can't. And we love when they get to show up and just sit really close to roller derby for 4 hours. But when they are pressed into action, we really love the fact that they are here and on it. So, 2 minutes to go in regulation.
Strange wearing the Jammer Star for the Transagenda, and Strange is lead jammer.
It gets
there
right
they go.
out. I'm watching back in the pack here. That's Quiet Riot for CalSquad, and Evie just delivered a heck of a block on Quiet Riot. And now it's going to get to the high side.
Strange
Evie again.
Getting some help from a friend.
What a blocking job by Evie at the front of the pack. Swung around the front of the pack and closed it. Now Sandy's
Strange
there.
Up there.
Excellent defense on the front of the pack. Yeah, again, Nightmare.
And they are pushing through again, calling it off. Shutting out CalSquad that time.
That was an excellent swing around the front of the pack. At really excellent block by Nightmare in there to open a path. I love watching good synchronized blocking. Is always fun to watch. Can you tell I'm the son of an offensive lineman? Can you tell I'm the son of an offensive lineman?
Right? Yeah.
And my little twisted leg never worked out right. All I ever wanted to do was play offensive line myself. I'd have been a fullback, trust me. Look at my body type. But, yeah, I love watching blocking. I'll tell you what.
On the football team I coach, everybody played every position.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah.
Hard to win that way, but everyone got to be quarterback.
Yeah. We have Scapegoat
out in front.
Out and clear. Hollyween for CalSquad is going to be on the pursuit. Scapegoat is going to check and then try to take off down the straightaway as best they can. Is wheeling in, is going to go up to the high side and frantically calls it off. We will have to check.
There.
Yeah, we'll check on any points for CalSquad as the regulation clock winds down. This will be the last jam of regulation coming up. Our last jam of regulation is going to be Dr. B. Just like it was to start us off for CalSquad.
Taking on Sir Ma'am for the Transagenda.
Ended up being 3 points for CalSquad and the 1 for Transagenda there, so it was points for both sides. Just 7 seconds left on the regulation clock, so that is going to take us down to the end. Dr. B blocked into the rail by Evie and then is able to get around and take off.
Big block there by 666 Dragger.
Kind of hold Evie back and now doing the same thing. Dr. B is going to be mid-pack, and big collision there. Strange got knocked down hard.
Strange, but they got up quickly.
Right back up, yep. Dr. B weaving through and gets by a sliding Evie to finish off that scoring pass. 23 seconds left on the jam clock, and Strange taking over. Strange with the star pass, taking over his jammer. Try to force the hand here in the last jam of regulation.
Calls it off.
Yeah, Dr. B called it off. That four-wall was going to link up at the front there.
Yeah.
Make that an unsavory task. Regulation clock is expired. We will take a look at the provenance of any penalty jams if possible, and we will find out if that is the final score or not. I see
Penalty
Lollipop
board
is
went
already.
down.
You have 1 second while they discuss the score. Well, they're still working out the score, but I am happy to let you know we got a penalty jam. The first of several, perhaps?
Perhaps.
All right. Well, I'm waiting for I saw the signal. Yeah, we go. We got bonus derby, baby. Here we go.
All right.
Penalty jam time.
That's
now,
the way to end the
I was going
day
to say
one
now,
of roller rage, right?
one of the Trans Agenda last year had a bout where they were down, I think 60 points perhaps, and they 4 penalty jams in a row and almost came back to beat Midway Magic because they had basically, it was like Midway Magic was running penalty heavy. Anyway, this is our penalty jam, and it is, my goodness, it's a penalty power jam.
That's right.
It is a penalty power jam. I didn't even get to tout that. This is a full 60-second penalty jam for the Trans Agenda. Now,
that's right.
Now, if the Trans Agenda can skate penalty free, and if CalSquad picks up at least 1 penalty, then this can
do
repeat.
it again.
And that's what happened last year. There was 4 of these. It was nuts. I even actively tried to jinx it after the 3rd one, and it didn't. I don't know. It was crazy. Like I said, people still talking about it to this day. Scapegoat with
Coming around again.
19 seconds left.
Got a 4-wall forming at the top.
And Scapegoat, big collision at the back of the pack. 999 for CalSquad, delivering
Cox,
the pain.
yep.
Yes.
Big block there.
So Scapegoat gets up, kind of adjusted the helmet, and now is going to reestablish and take off again. Runs up, and that'll do it. The clock expires.
We'll see if that's the end.
All right. We see everybody lining up. It was a 6-point penalty power jam for the Trans Agenda. Everybody's checking in. Lollipop is checking with both sides. And it is going to be, is it official? There it is. Only 1 penalty jam this time, unfortunately. I know. Sandy's giving me a thumbs down from the bench. When I saw a Trans Agenda penalty jam, I'm like, look, they might be down 70. Don't tune out.
Right.